Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to discuss the topic integrated services marketing communication. The learning objectives of today's lecture includes understanding the concept of integrated marketing communication. What are the various challenges in service communication and the various strategies that helps us in overcoming these communication challenges and to match the promises made by the service provider with the actual delivery. So, before moving ahead, let's first of all understand what is integrated marketing communication. So, as you can make out from the name that it is made up of three terms: integrated marketing communication. So, marketing communication has any form of communication made by the manufacturer to the consumers, and by adding the word integrated to it, we mean that we need to combine in all the communication efforts made by the company. That is, every communication that is going from the company to the customer, whether that is through the website or through the advertising or through the PR team, the means it should convey in the same meaning. So, integrated services marketing communication becomes even more complex for the reason as that there are some inherent characteristics in services that makes it more difficult to coordinate the communication efforts. So, on the coming slides, we'll try to understand those challenges that are there in the services. So basically, there are five kind of the challenges, communication challenges that are being faced by the companies. And the first one is intangibility. Second one is management of service promises. Third is management of customer expectations. Fourth is customer education. And fifth one is internal marketing communication. So what is intangibility? Intangibility means that services are not the physical things. It is not something physical. It is not something that can be seen, that can be touched, that can be means that something we can taste. So services are intangible. So due to this intangibility factor, it becomes very challenging for the service providers to convey the services to the marketers or the customers. So this intangible nature of services create problems for consumers both before and after purchase, because both before purchase they will not be able to understand what they are actually buying, and even after purchase they'll have trouble evaluating, because you might have done in the consumer decision making process, it starts with need recognition, and then after purchasing means consumers make a purchase after careful evaluation of all the alternatives available, and then even after making the purchase they try to evaluate, and on the basis of the post purchase evaluation they'll consider whether they are satisfied or dissatisfied. So in this particular relevance means evaluating services before and after purchase, both way it is quite difficult for the consumers. So um, there are many difficulties associated with intangibility, and Banwari Mittal has divided it into five different properties, which is incorporeal existence. The first one is incorporeal existence. Incorporeal existence means that the service product is something not physical. Okay, it's not in the physical form, and moreover, the it does not occupy the physical space. um, it means that let's say there is an insurance company. So insurance company has a physical outlet wherein you go and buy the insurance policies, but insurance itself doesn't occupy any space, as is the case with the product. But because product itself occupies the space in the manufacturing units or in the warehouses, but this is not the case in the services. So it has a incorporeal existence. Second is abstractness. So many service benefits such as financial security or the fun or the health are the one that do not correspond directly with the object. So that makes it very difficult to visualize and understand. Um, so means if we are going to sell some service, if we are going to communicate some services, so let's say that is a medical service, so it is very abstract term to define what actually means the consumer itself will not be able to visualize what will they get in terms of the medical service being offered by the doctor. Third is generality. Generality refers to a class of things, persons, events, or properties. So, whereas on the other hand, specificity refers to particular objects, people, or events. So many of the services and the service promises are described in generalities. For example, experience, wonderful experience, or superior education, or the completely satisfied customers. So it makes it very difficult to differentiate it from the competitors. So this wonderful experience is something that can be claimed by any of the service providers. So it's a very general term. Next property of intangibility is non-searchability. So services are a kind of performance by the employees. So that's why it cannot be previewed or impacted in advance of purchase, as is the case with the physical product. Because before buying a purchase, we can physically examine that product by taking it in hand, by having a feel of it, by seeing it with our eyes. But this is not the case with the services. For example, we are interested in finding a doctor, or we are interested in finding an air conditioner repair firm. So we cannot search it with certainty the options as easily as we can serve the shelves in a grocery store. So it means it is hard to search the service alternative due to the intangibility inherent in it. And the last property is mental impalpability. Services are very complex, multidimensional, and these are very difficult to grasp mentally. So, in case the customer do not have any prior exposure to the service, or they are not familiar with the services, so it will be very difficult to interpret any services. So means, let's say you're going to a restaurant and you are going to that restaurant for the first time, you will not be having any prior information in your mind by which you can evaluate it, or means it will be very difficult. Next factor is management of service promises. So a serious problem occurs when companies fail to manage the services marketing communications, because services marketing communication is one way wherein they'll be making promises to the external customers. So and if the service promises are not adequately managed, then the service falls short of the promises. So this sometimes occurs because the part of the company making the promise lacks the information necessary to make accurate statements. So in case they do not have accurate statement about the actual state of services, so they make promises on their own, and this way they will ultimately they will not be able to deliver whatever they are promising. So next is the management of customer expectations, the third challenge that was inherent in on this service marketing communication. So accurate communication about services is the responsibility of both marketing and operations. So marketing must accurately reflect what happens in actual service encounters, and operation must deliver what is promised in communication. So that means that we need to manage the customer expectations carefully. Customers form expectations by seeing the advertisements being given by the service providers. So herein, the coordination between the marketing department and operations department is highly required, because marketing department needs in to show actual service environment wherein the service will be delivered to the customer, so that whenever they come for getting the service, they feel that they're familiar to the environment, because it is the same way that has been shown in the advertising of the companies. Now the fourth thing is customer education. Service companies must educate their customers, because customers are unclear about how service will be provided, or what is their role in delivery involves, and how to evaluate services they have never used before. They'll become disappointed. For example, in a case we want to go to a doctor, we have some specific ailment, and for that ailment we need to look for a doctor, and we do not know which doctor to approach for. uh, Services have high credence properties. That's why it becomes very difficult for consumers to evaluate the services even after consuming it. Another thing is that customer has an important role to play in service delivery. Like I has taken an example of the doctor and the patient. If the patient will not explain to the doctor what are the actual symptoms he is facing, then the doctor will not be able to prescribe the exact medication for the problem of the patient. So this way there will be mismatch. So consumer customers need to be educated on what they can expect and what is their role in the service delivery, so that they don't feel disappointed later on. And the last challenge that is being faced is the internal marketing communication. So there, the company performs a multiple type of functions, that is the marketing operations, and all of these must be coordinated to achieve the goal of quality service reason. Because the advertising and the personal selling promise what people do, frequent and effective communication across functions, that is the horizontal communication, is critical. If internal communication is poor, the perceived quality is at risk. That means we have already done the services marketing triangle, wherein we discuss about the internal communication and the external communication. External communication is takes place between the um, company and the customer. So this is the form of communication wherein the promises are being made by the company. So then we have internal communication. Internal communication is between the company and uh, the employees. And then we have one interactive communication, that is between the employees and the customers. So the promises are made by the company, but the promises will be kept during the interactive communication between the employees and the customer. So now there is third dimension of this services marketing triangle. If the link between the company and the employees, that is the communication between the company and the employees, is missing, means the company itself is not communicating it to its customer whatever it has promised to the external customers, then the interactive communication will fail, because in that case the employees will not be able to deliver as per the promises made and the reason for this is that they are not aware of the promises being made by the company personnel. So this internal marketing communication also poses a challenge, and it is quite important to take care of internal marketing communication. So this we have already discussed. Now we'll move to the strategies to match service promises with the delivery. So there are five type of these strategies that helps in matching service promises with the delivery. And those five strategies are: first is address service intangibility, then manage service promises, then manage customer expectations, manage customer education, and manage internal marketing communication. So earlier we discussed about these challenges: intangibility, service promises, customer expectations, education, and internal marketing communication. Now we'll be discussing how these challenges could be overcome. So the very first strategy is to address the service intangibility. So approaches to address service intangibility are that advertising and other communication strategies that clearly communicate service attributes and benefits to the consumers, and strategies designed to encourage word of mouth communication. So um, means on the basis of these two, there are 10 particular strategies that can be used to address the issue of the service intangible. The first one is use narrative to demonstrate the service experience. So most of the services are experiential in nature, and they are and a uniquely effective approach to communicate them involves story-based appeals. So making use of the story-based appeals to narrate the people, the kind of experience they'll have while having the service will be of much help. It will help to reduce the challenge of the intangibility. Second is present vivid information. So effective service marketing communication creates a strong or clear impression on the scene, senses of a person, and on the senses of a consumer, and it produces a distinct mental picture. Okay, so one way of using this vivid information is to evoke the strong emotions such as fear, love, etc. Next is use interactive imagery. Imagery is defined as a mental event that involves the visualization of a concept or relationship, and it can enhance recall of names and facts about the service. So, interactive imagery integrates two or more items in some mutual action, resulting in improved recall. Next is the focus on the tangibles. Another way by which advertisers can increase the effectiveness of service communications is to feature the tangibles associated with the service. For example, showing a bank's gold credit card, or showing the interiors of a restaurant. So this is something that helps on focusing on the tangible parts associated with the services. Next is use brand icons to make the service tangible. So advertiser of service gain in competitive differentiation and strong brand awareness in a highly competitive market. So fast food markets and the insurance industries create a recognizable brand icon that represent the company and generates brand visibility. So um, one of the most enduring service brand icons is the Ronald by the McDonald. So making use of the mascots in advertising, uh, mascots, or we call the brand icons, is the one way of tangibilizing the services. Next is use association, physical representation, documentation, and visualization. So association means linking the service to a tangible person, place, or object. Okay, for example, we said that make the brand icons, associating a brand to a particular brand icon. Then visualization is a vivid mental picture of a service benefits or qualities. For example, showing people on vacation having fun. Documentation means featuring objective data and factual information. Documentation means presenting the factual information to the consumers. Next is feature service employees in communication. Customer contact personnel are tangible representations of the service, and they are an important second audience for service advertising. So, showing them into the advertising, making them as part of the advertising that is being shown to the consumers will be of much help. Next is use buzz or viral marketing. Buzz marketing, which is also called viral marketing, involves the use of real consumers to spread the word about the products without being paid by the company. So buzz is also termed as word of mouth communication, and so viral marketing is the kind of buzz marketing which spreads across the market like a virus. So means herein the strong messages are being prepared and conveyed to the consumers, and the consumers are so fascinated by the message that they pass on this information quickly to their other relatives or friends. So this way it helps in generating the word of mouth communication. Next is leverage social media. Social media, all of you are aware of social media. By social media, we mean making use of Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, as these are becoming avenues for consumers to exchange information. So, we could make use of the social media to deal with the issue of intangibility. Then aim messages to influencers. So influencers has a strong role to play in today's marketing. So instead of passing on the benefits or benefits to the consumers, sometimes um, the companies they means focus their messages on the influencers, and the influencers are the one who reinforce that messages to their followers. Next, create advertising that generates talks because it is humorous, compelling, or unique. So any means any marketing campaign or any advertising that makes use of humorous appeal will be are will it's something that becomes very popular over a period of time. So this is one way of dealing with the issue of service intangibility. Then features satisfied customers in the communication. So in case of services, consumers rely more on their personal sources of information rather than means the marketing communication channels. So if we feature the satisfied customers, if we show the testimony of satisfied customers in the communication to the external customers, it will be of much help. Then generate word of mouth to employee relationship. So research shows that customer satisfaction with the service experience alone is not sufficient to stimulate word of mouth activity. So this happens only after the customers gain trust in a specific employee who is passing on the positive word of mouth. So that means for generating word of mouth, we should not rely only on customers. We should also encourage our employees to generate positive word of mouth by activating strong relationships with them. Now, the second strategy is to deal with the issue of managing service promises. So two different strategies can be used for managing service promises. Is first one is create a strong service brand. So service branding would be of much help. If the company is able to create the strong brand over a period of time, then means it will be very easy for them to manage the promises, because something that is coming from the known source or from a very strong company, is viewed as a as positive, something very positive by the company. And next is coordinate external communications. So any organization, one of the important challenges is to manage the brand image, and it involves coordinating all the external communication vehicles that send information to the customers. So the company is communicating with the external customers through advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, direct marketing, through websites. So it is quite challenging for a company to coordinate the communication through all these channels, because without coordinating the external communications, company will never be able to manage the service promises. Third set of strategies deals with managing customer expectations. First strategy is to make the realistic promises. So the company, any service company should be able to make they should make only realistic promises which they'll be able to keep later on. They should not over exaggerate something that they are offering. So they should convey exactly what they'll be able to deliver to their final consumers. Second way is to offer the service guarantees. So we need to understand what are the service guarantees. Service guarantees are the formal promises made to customers about aspects of the service they will receive. So many of the services carry implicit service satisfaction guarantees. The one benefits from explicit service guarantees. So explicit is something in the form of written. So if the company offers the service guarantees, we get a car service. So after the service of the car, we always get a call from the company wherein they confirm that it is working good. So there is some specific time wherein if the service fails to deliver, so generally like doctors means so there is an explicit performance promise that means for 10 to 15 days, if it will not work, you can come again for the service free of cost. Then offer choices. Another way to reset customer expectation is to give options to the customers. For example, a clinical psychologist who is charging 100 rupees for an hour might offer clients the choice between a price increase of rupees 10 per hour or a reduction in the number of minutes comprising the hour. For example, 100 rupees for 1 hour or 100 rupees for 50 minutes. So by offering the choices to the customers, one can manage the expectations of the customers. Fourth one is create tiered value service offerings. As the company is catering to different type of customers, they differ because of the paying capabilities, have the kind of the needs they have. So to address this, the company should always create the tiered value service offerings. You might have noticed the bank offer different kind of credit cards like gold card, silver card, platinum card. Each of the credit card has a different set of benefits associated with the card. Next is to communicate the criteria and the level of service effectiveness. At times, companies establish the criteria by which customers assess service. For example, a business customer who is purchasing the market research service for the first time, because market research is an expert service, it is high in credence properties. So it will be hard for customers to judge. Moreover, the effectiveness of this type of service differs depending upon the objectives of the client. Um, so in this situation, a service provider can teach the customer the criteria by which to evaluate the services. So that means herein the research company can tell the customer that low price means low quality. The reputation of the firm is critical, and the person to person interviews are the only type of customer feedback that will provide accurate information. So this is the criteria they have conveyed to the customers for checking the effectiveness of the services being offered by them. So the next set of strategies is deals with the managing customer education. So as we know that the customer role in delivery is quite important. If they forget to perform their roles, or if they don't perform properly, disappointment may result for them. So it is quite an important thing to manage the customer education. So the various steps we can undertake. The first one is to prepare customers for the service processes. So we should prepare the customers for the service processes. Means in our communication, you should tell them that this means. I'll give you an example. So whenever I visit this local Om Prakash hospital for eye checkup, after paying on the cash counter, they'll tell you that means just sit here in the waiting area. Our executive will come to you, and ma'am, it will take around 30 minutes. So next means and you will go for this means pressure check or something like that. So this is something means preparing the customer in advance. What is the process they have to undergo, and how much time will it take? So this way they'll be prepared in advance, and they will not means create problems later on. Second is to confirm performance to standards and expectations. So sometimes what happens is the service providers provide services, even explicitly requested services, but fail to communicate to the customer what has been accomplished. So these providers stop short of getting credit for their actions when they do not reinforce actions with communication about their fulfillment of the request. So in this type of situation, the customer cannot evaluate the effectiveness of a service, and the decision maker in the service purchase is a person different from the user of the service. So, or the service is performed out of the sight of the customer. In all these conditions, the customer will not be able to evaluate the effectiveness of the service. So that means whatever company is performing, they should communicate it to the customers so that they can acknowledge the extra efforts put in by the company. Next is to clarify expectations after the sale has been made. So when service involves a handoff between sales and operations, clarifying expectations with customers helps the operations arm of the company align delivery with the customer expectation. So salespeople are motivated and compensated to raise the customer expectations, at least to the point of making the sale, rather than to communicate realistically when the company can provide. Last set of strategies deal with managing internal marketing communication. First one is create effective vertical communication. So by vertical communication we mean the communication between top to the down level or from bottom to the up level. So we have already studied that there are different levels of management. We have top level management, middle level, and then we have lower level of management. So the communication between all these levels is something that is called vertical communication. So if we'll be able to create effective vertical communication, then this will not pose any challenge later on. Next is to create effective horizontal communication. So horizontal communication is a kind of communication across functional boundaries in the organization. It facilitates coordinated efforts for service delivery. So this task is somewhat difficult because functions typically differ in their goals, philosophies, and their view of the customer. So coordination between marketing and operation can result in communication that accurately reflect service delivery. So this helps in reducing the gap between customer expectation and the actual service delivery. So by managing the horizontal communication, we will be able to bridge the gap between the external communications and the actual delivery. Now sell the brand inside the company. So what happens, the companies just focus on selling their brand outside their premises to the customers only. So they never highlight the kind of benefits to their employees. So most of the times their employees are not actually aware of the um, benefits of the service. So in this scenario, the company should sell the brand first. It's first inside their organization to their employees, so that they should be aware before communicating with the external customers. Creating effective upward communication. So when we talked about vertical communication, we just put the focus on the downward communication only. So upward communication is also necessary in closing the gaps between the promises made by the company and the service delivery. So employees who are working at the front line, they are the one who are having knowledge of the problems of the customers. So customers actually come and make complaints to them. So if they provide that, if they pass on that information to the upper level, then they can means resolve the problems or resolve the complaints of the customers. Align back office and support personnel with external customers through interaction or measurement. So what happens that in company during the service delivery process, only frontline workers are the one who interact with the customers. So by working continuously, they become very knowledgeable and empathetic toward the external customers. So they also feel that they have earned intrinsic rewards by satisfying their customers. Back office and support personnel are the one who do not interact directly with the external customer. They miss out on this bonding, and as a consequence, fail to gain the skills and reward associated with it. So in this case, as the back office and support personnel are working at the back end, they'll never come in direct contact with the external customers. So companies can create ways to facilitate the interaction between back office and support personnel and external customers. Okay. So by this way, they'll also be trained in a way the frontline employees were trained. So thank you all of you. This was all about the integrated services marketing communication. Hope you have understood it. Thank you so much, students.